Yeah, don't make life in the arts unless you're almost ready to lay down your life, okay? Because in the end, they're kind of the same. You know, to be any darn good at it or really care at it to teach someone else, the one is going to demand the life's blood and the time of the other. So trigger warning over. Look, here's what I'm trying to tell you. What am I trying to say? The humanities. Is there a God? Is there meaning in all the madness and the immensity? Now, some of you out there would absolutely say, yes, of course, absolutely, I have faith, I believe, story over. Congratulations. Look, some of the world's finest art, of course, comes from faith. I mean, true believers from acts of faith have built these magical things. You know, these are religious constructions. What I guess I'm more interested in is, what's the doubt that lies behind the faith? And even with the doubt, you're willing to try and do something like that. Sorry, Stravinsky goes on for a while. What I'm getting at is this is what people do, you know, what we do at our most basic level when we're lost. And we're trying to make sense of something colossal that's called death, birth, love, sex, tragedy, emptiness. Is that we make patterns. We doodle, in a sense. We begin to draw, paint a picture in our minds, tell ourselves a story, and then we walk, we whistle a happy tune. And anywhere we get a little hop in our step, and then maybe that turns into a dance. As we realize we just worked out, or drew, or painted our doubt, or danced it even, or acted it. We've acted our way out of confusion into faith. Because doing this is an act of faith in the midst of mystery and emptiness. It is a gesture in the darkness. It's a hope that beauty will give you an answer. The arts is just pattern making. It's humanity's most natural habit. You know, it's what we do from our youngest days. Watch children. They don't play with spreadsheets, okay? They don't compare derivatives or debate HR pension rates. They draw, they hum, they jump around. And when there's music, they sing and dance. And they sing when they're happy and when they're sad. But most of all, what they want is to be told stories and then to tell them. They want the world out there, the big, wild, scary, unfathomable world, and whoever you are out there in this crowd, you imagine the world is no longer scary? There's one clip I didn't bring. Be afraid. Be very afraid. Look, what we all want and should still want is to tell each other stories in whatever medium you choose, okay? And that is the act of being a human, of being humanity. It's our essential behavior. I mean, the arts are also expressions of our human core, and there are lights in the darkness, and by gathering together to make that, we enjoy it. We dispel the darkness for a while. And that is something you can't buy. You have to learn and listen and imitate and train. Look, I'm not saying math and science can't do the same. I'm not saying, you know, when I express my passion for each of those, but I did it in the form of a story, a metaphor of pie, a dream about an event horizon. Now, I'm saying that in an era of relentless Walmart practicality, when the price of an object is deemed a higher good than the salary of the person who makes it, when the rights of a corporation, a liability-free financial construct, are made equal to the individual rights of every single person sitting in this room, then yes, if you spend the rest of your life devoted to buying, selling, trading, beating, winning, and cheating your friends, without part of your life devoted to making some story or dance or picture out of some piece of it, let's just say your children, some doubt, some wonder, some unquantifiable love inside you, then yes, I am saying you are weakening your own humanity. And by doing so, you weaken us all. Okay, I'll leave you with this finally. I loved my brother, but now his story matters more when I can lend it or tell it to another cancer survivor. Or let's say someone in this room who's gone through something similar. I love that the event horizon of a black hole is this weird scientific fact. But mostly, because the event horizon collects and compresses time, it means to me that someday Orpheus really can go down into hell and find Eurydice. Someday I can go talk to my brother again. Or I can sit down with my great-great-grandfathers and ask them, hey guys, how was Gettysburg? And I love this symbol pi, because although the more you try and follow, the less it makes sense. And in the end, even with that mystery, it is still the measure by which we all grow. And how glorious and reassuring that something that determines so much of your life, something so powerful and so absolute, has as its center a mystery. So I ask you, the humanities is about going out and embracing that mystery and doing something with it instead of ignoring it. And I wish you well doing so. So thank you. I'm just really happy that I finally did something with a computer and it actually kind of worked. I want to thank, where's the gentleman? Thank you, man. I didn't want to make that. Any questions? Probably not. All right, thank you. My best friend in high school was a painter. His name was Lowell Boyers, and you may have heard stories from Mark, her husband. Her husband was my teacher in high school. Great guy. And so my best friend was a painter. He knew he wanted to be a painter from the time he was 14, right? He gelled his hair, and he wore big overcoats, and people made fun of him and called him names. And I just thought he was so freaking brave. Because I grew up in a steel town, and I didn't see a play until I was 15. Art was not a part of my life, really. And I saw this kid putting up with, people literally threatening him and saying, I'm going to do this. And somewhere, I guess, I was like, God, where's that thing in my life? And it wasn't until I got to college that somehow I realized that the books I'd like to read on my own, in private, on a stage, they stand up and walk around. And I could be one of them, I don't read Jay Gatsby, I get to be Jay Gatsby. That's crazy. I know that Leonardo got the part, I forget it, but I can still imagine doing it. Right? Yeah, so I walked into an audition straight out of high school and somehow got the part. And the rest was just misery and 20 years of slaving away.